Hey everybody, quick check-in. Shabbat Shalom and Happy Hanukkah to all my friends who are Jewish. And that's my version of a Hanukkah. Because at one time I did study to convert to Judaism and I still keep up the practices. I wanted to say I hope you all are having a very happy holiday season, no matter which holiday you celebrate. There are so many religions in the world that have holidays during the month of December. It does not belong solely to the Christians, no matter how much they try to make it seem so. So this is my saying happy holidays, no matter what holiday you are celebrating, whether it's Yule or Christmas or Hanukkah or Ramadan or whatever. As an omniist, I recognize that all of these holy days are valid and have a special meaning to everyone who celebrates them. I do not agree with the attitude that is present among the conservative Christian evangelicals and the Christian nationalists, the MAGA crowd, that the only holiday that should be recognized is a Christian holiday. When Christmas was first instituted, they didn't even know for sure when Jesus was supposed to have been born. But if you read the Bible and pay real close attention to what was going on, it happened during the fall of the year, probably about September or so, September, October, during the Feast of Tabernacles, when people would be outside and they would build these little shelters that had special fruits placed upon the walls, and it was a harvest festival. And so this would be the time of year when people would be traveling, because they would be going to share that festival with their families. It wasn't about the census. There's no census that required anybody to leave the town they were living in to go to another town. That was added to the story later. During the time when Jesus was born, Israel was being ruled by the Roman Empire. And that's how the census story got added to the birth of Jesus. But according to the timeline of who was supposed to have been the Caesar and who was supposed to have been like the head of the Jewish people at that time, it couldn't have happened at the time Jesus was born. It would have happened several years later, because the census is taken every 10 years. And there had been one not too long before that. So the original day that Christmas was celebrated was in the fall. The birth of Jesus was celebrated in the fall because the shepherds were attending their flocks. And Israel is in the northern hemisphere. And it is not that much farther south than Oklahoma. Which means that in December the weather was very cold, it was probably snowy, and the sheep would not have been out in the pastures. They would have been brought into the corrals and the barns and what have you to protect them. But several other pagan holy days at the time when the Catholic Church came into power happened at the time in December. And the Pope decided he wanted to take over that holy day to force people to join the Catholic Church. There was Yule, there was the Saturnalia, there was winter solstice, and so they picked Christmas Day because of the holidays that were celebrated, the holy days that were celebrated on that day. And they began to oppress the people that celebrated those days and make them convert to Christianity. Well, people did not forget about them. People still to this day celebrate those holy days. They just keep awful quiet about it because how loud and boisterous and obnoxious Christians are about making Christmas all about Jesus. When actually what it's about is the axial tilt of the planet and the shortening of the days that occurs because of that. It's actually about a perfectly natural occurrence in the cycle of the year. It is the shortest night, which is winter solstice, or the shortest day, I should say. The shortest day is winter solstice, the longest night. The Saturnalia, and about 150 other celebrations, including Yule, in which all the things that Christians have taken over were a part of the ritual, like the big tree that was decorated, and the Yule log. Did you know that the Yule log was actually a tree that was about 12 or 13 foot tall and did not fit into the houses? It was burned outside. It was part of it made a big bonfire. But what happened over the years is people would take a section of a log as the Yule log, and they would burn it in their fireplaces. See, there's all these really interesting pieces of lore and tradition that are associated with all these holy days. The giving of gifts didn't just belong to the birth of Jesus. Every single country, every single society, every single religion had a day of giving gifts. And very often they fell between December 23rd and January 1st. The 12 days of Christmas was actually the 12 days of Yule. Sometimes it was like 17 days. but it was a specific amount of time that there was a celebration going on. And that's how we got the song about the 12 days of Christmas. The first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. And they went on and on and on, and every little thing that was associated with these other religions got stolen, appropriated, as they went through and they colonized the world in the name of Christianity. Not so much in the name of Jesus, but in the name of Christianity, the religion that they wanted to make a one world religion, because they interpreted the Bible in a way that said there would be one world religion. But if you went back to the original text, the original languages, that's not what it said. But it's been reinterpreted and reinterpreted and reinterpreted over the years to suit whoever was in power to push their agenda. At the Internet Archive, they have Bibles that go back over 1,000 years. I've got one that I downloaded that was from the 1300s. It wasn't a King James Bible. It was just, it was one of the Bibles. It was in Middle English from that time period. I've got Bibles that are downloaded that are older than that. I can't translate them because I don't read the script very well. I have to get it, have to get the font translated and get a translator app to do that. But they're there. And I can look at them and I can see, I'm not great at Greek and Latin, but I have a strong concordance that has Greek and Latin and Hebrew and Aramaic in it, so I can go to that and I can check and see what the original language would have said. And all the different words for that word in the Greek or the Latin or Hebrew or Aramaic, it'll have a whole list of words that it could have meant during the interpretation and the reinterpretation of the Bible. And scholars spend months and years translating original texts. They go up to like an archaeological site and there's documents or scrolls or stone slabs that have got writing on them. They're going to spend months and years translating, interpreting, and verifying what these things say before they make a publication about it. So this time of year is special because it's about the changeover from fall to winter and winter to spring because of the axial tilt. The longest night within a few days will no longer be the longest night. We'll have it'll be equal. And then it'll become the days will grow longer after winter solstice. And that's because of how the Earth's axis goes this way during the year. So when it's this way, the sun's going to appear smaller and farther away in the northern hemisphere. And when it's this way, it'll feel closer and bigger in the Northern Hemisphere. But as the Earth turns, it shifts one way to the other. At the equator, you don't see that so much. The sun always seems about the same distance away. But closer to the poles, it changes. And there's all kinds of gifts that nature gives us this time of year that we don't even think about. That's just part of the cycle of life. And when we celebrate the cycle of life through our religious holy days, we're giving meaning to our lives, to our community. We're bringing our family and friends in to be a part of our lives. Some of us, those family and friends aren't there anymore. And so the celebrations become more different and difficult every year. Till maybe we stop celebrating, because what's the point? But I'm going to tell you, there is a point. Every day that you're alive is a celebration. Every day that you're alive is a gift from the gods. Doesn't matter which one you worship. It's a gift. The trees, the birds, the animals, the fish, the rain and ice and snow, they're all gifts. They all reaffirm the cycle of life. I hope each and every one of you is having a wonderful day and you're enjoying your holidays. And you remember that others are enjoying theirs too. And all of them are holy, sacred, sanctified. They're all blessings to the people that celebrate them. When you have a chance to be kind, be kind. It matters. Love y'all. Bye-bye.